My dear students, and today we are dealing with the poem Animals written by Walt Whitman. We should know something about Walt Whitman. He is an American poet and he was the first person to write a poetry in free verse. When you look into the poem, you can understand that the very first line itself is too long and the last line is little short. So it did not have a proper rhyme scheme, and although it is in free verse. So in this poem, Walt Whitman is a person trying to compare the human beings with the animals. Here the poet is trying to compare the human beings with the animals. He is also actually intending and thinking, I would love to live with animals, but I am a human being. Because animals are more calm and they are more self contained and they are true to its character. So, this is actually the basic theme of how actually are we? Actually, are we trying to be animals or are animals trying to be us? So, we'll move to the poem line by line. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self contained. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self contained. I wish I could turn and live with animals because they are so calm and they are self contained, which means controlled. Where you have seen so many people who are not able to control their behavior. Okay, they are so angry ever. So here he's telling that over here animals are not like that. They can control. They are self-contained. They're controlled. They can control themselves. They are self-contained. They know what to do, when to do, and how to do. And then they are also calm. I stand and look at them long and long. Maybe the poet is in the forest, or maybe the poet is inside the zoo. Anyway, we are not sure about that. So, wherever the poet, he is telling that when you look at them, I feel like staring at them. I feel like looking at them. The poet was standing there and looking at the animals for quite a long time. They do not sweat and whine about their conditions. Here, whine means basically complaining about the conditions. Okay, here, sweat means hardworking. What do? We start working from early in the morning till night. We are working hard for what? To get money. And we are working hard to get the materialistic things. And we hand it over to the kids and they live for the next generation. This is just cycle, we are working not for ourselves but for the next generation. But animals, they live with the food what they get that particular day. They are not going to save any food or they are not going to store any food anywhere. Over here, it's not all the animals saving food or money what we do. They do not sweat and they whine about the conditions. They are not complaining. They don't have any complaints. They're happy with what they have. But we, the human beings, always complain, always whine about the problem, about our family, about our kids, money, wealth, etc. That's a good comparison. Animals, they don't have any complaints, but we human beings always complain. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Here, the human beings, they always, we have seen, when we have a problem, we cannot sleep because the stress, because the problems at home, problems at office. What do? We lie awake in the bed and we think about it again and again. Actually, it creates more issues which we are not supposed to do. Over here, What will the animals do? They never think about the future and they never awake in the bed at night. We have seen about the beautiful birds, right? Early morning, 5:30 we can hear the chirping sound of the birds, and evening 7:30 also. They don't have any worries. Here, the poet is trying to say what we do is we lie awake in the bed and we just think about again and again. But animals, they are just opposite. They live for the day, not for the next day, but they live for the day. So, in these stanzas, we can see there is no proper stanza wise. It's just like free verse. So over here, the poet is trying to compare the animals with the human beings. And he actually say, we should learn some things from animals to be calm, not to be stressed, and be happy. And the smile on your face, it changes everything. For example, if a person is coming forward and he might be in tension, but when he sees your smiling face, that will make him smile. Okay, now we'll move on to the second part of the poem. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Nowadays, duty to God is something which we are doing from the heart. It's not like all of a sudden someone is telling you you do that, someone is not telling you not to do that. It's not like that. If you love your God, you do that. So over here, uh, they do not make the poet, the animals do not make the poet sick discussing their duty to God. So the prayer should come from the heart. Why we want to discuss that? Why we should discuss our prayers? No need. Okay, so no one is dissatisfied, not one is demanded with a mania of owning things. No one is dissatisfied, not one is demanded with the mania of owning things. Not even a single human being is there who is actually satisfied. All are dissatisfied. I don't have a car. I don't have the BMW car. I don't have this, that, like that. We complained about each and everything. Not one is dissatisfied. Not one is demanded with a mania of earning things. Mania of owning things. Not one is demanded with the mania of owning things. Every single human being is mad, demented, mad. And why are they mad? They are mad of owning things. They always want to get things. They are not happy with what they have. They always dissatisfied. They are just craving to own things. Not one kneels to another, not to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one kneels to another, not to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one. Animals, they never kneel down before anyone. They don't bow before anyone. They never respect anyone. Not one kneels to another. Not one. Animals, they never kneel down before anyone. They never respect anyone. But we, human beings, what is happening in the office? You hate your boss like anything, but still you bow your head. This happens. Inside, you just hate the person, but still, just to showcase, you bow before him. It's something like unnatural. But animals never kneel before anyone because if I want food, I will get it and eat. They are not even fighting with each other for unnecessary things. The animals, they are not even fighting with each other, but we do. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. Not even a single animal is unhappy. All the animals are happy. But you will meet an unhappy about the earth. They continuously complains. But what about the animals? They don't have any complaints. They're happy with what they have. So you can find calm and imposed character of animals here because they don't have any complaints. They're happy with what they have. So now we'll move on to the last part of the poem. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. Here the poet says that animals are more honest in showing their relations with other animals. Here he wants to say that animals use other animals as their food and they never try to hide. They never try to hide the food with the other animals. Whereas human beings show that they have nice and friendly relations with others, though the reality is opposite. The poet says that he accepts the fact that animals are true towards showing their relations with other animals. They bring me tokens of myself. They bring me tokens of myself. Over here, the word token means qualities. So, they're actually showcasing the good qualities. Actually, it should be within me. The poet is telling, but we don't have it. Why? Because animals are taken that. They evince them plainly in their possessions. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possessions. They evince, they reveal these qualities in their possessions. Here, possessions means I own. I own a car. That's my possession. And here, the possessions of animals are good behavior, good things, what they do for the other animals. That is actually possession. That possession of animals are quite visible. Those tokens are not visible. Those good qualities are not visible for human beings, but animals do have it. I wonder where they get these tokens. Here, the poet is wondering when these animals get all these tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? Here, which clearly shows that the poet is so careless, not just poet, but each one of us. The qualities, values, the duties, the basic things. We are just carelessly leaving it. And why are we leaving it? Just to possess the material things. Everybody is having the attitude of ego, the jealousy, just to own things, just to possess other things. We are just craving for unnecessarily materialistic things. Always we want something and we are just craving for unnecessarily materialistic things. And that is why human beings are falling. And it's even affecting the jungle, even affecting the animals. How? We are not happy with what we have. The human beings, we are not happy with what we have. We are building resorts inside the jungle. It's affecting the animals. So over here, we have to think about how these human beings carelessly drop the values, the ethics, all the good things. Okay, it's actually a thought provoking. Actually, it's a thought provoking poem which everyone should think a lot. Okay, clear? Okay, now we'll move on to the poetic devices. Okay, first poetic device is anaphora. Anaphora that we discussed in the last class. It is actually the letter or word is repeated in consecutive lines. It means the beginning of the consecutive lines. For example, I. The letter I is repeated here. That's anaphora. And the second one is repetition. When the words are repeated like long, the word long is repeated. That's called a repetition. And the third one is metaphor. Sweat and wine, which is actually speaking about the way the people are complaining about things. Sweat and wine. That's wet and wine. These are the three poetic devices which is being mentioned in the poem. I think I have covered the whole part of the poem. I hope the poetry was clear to you. Thank you.